I knew this tuna would go to good use.
Day 16.
17 miles. The day was pleasant, overcast after sort of biblical proportionate rain last night. It was insane.
Actually,
Probably shortly after we got into our accommodation, 4 or 5 it started and didn't let up until 2.
there was times it woke me up in the middle of the night because it was just ungodly amounts of rain like hitting the window.
Yeah, and we decided to leave the window curtains open because we get up so early. It was no big deal. But then you had lightning just, it was crazy.
Yeah,
So,
there was, fires happening in the sort of eastern part of Shikoku, and I'm just praying that they got that same amount of rain.
because there was no way a fire could continue with that amount of rain. It was
nuts.
crazy. Yeah, good accommodations last night. I really liked them, except for the futon was designed for a person with less weight.
Mass, yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, great accommodations. The lady was super nice. Loved that she, what'd you say? Laundered our clothes.
Oh yes, today the laundry was osettai, and I put it on today after showering, and I was like, oh man, it smells really good. Like the detergent she used must have been like really good. I thought for a split second I was like, oh man, do I smell good after this shower? And I was like, nah, that can't be
that ain't
right.
it.
No, and then
Yeah.
the funny thing too last night was she had telephones in each of the
Yeah, the rooms.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, I'll call you when your bath is ready. I'll call you when the food is ready. She didn't call us for breakfast, and that's probably for the best. But
Because I think our neighbors would have heard had they wanted to sleep in.
yeah, but it was just funny. Mush mushy. Yeah, so it was a good accommodation, and yeah, I had a good time. Started at 34, essentially.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was an hour and a half, 2 hours. No, it was 2 hours, every bit of 2 hours to get to 34 this morning.
Or sorry, we started at 33.
Yeah. Oh, right. We started across the street from 33.
Right.
Correct.
And then, yeah, sort of 2-ish hours, 34, and then maybe, another hour and a half?
A little bit more than that, yeah. But the first to 34 was across farm fields, and it was quite funny. The sounds of the frogs.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
The amount of wildlife we saw today was actually pretty nuts. I was kind of recounting it. I saw cats. We woke up, or we started our day. We've been carrying these cans of tuna around for probably the past week on a day.
And decided there's no way we're eating it. It doesn't matter how bad things get. We're not eating that shit.
Yeah, so there was just like a cat loafed up on the side of the road. He's just taking a nap. I mean, it was still early in the morning, so we were like, yeah, screw it. Hey, kitty, you want a can of tuna? And he was in heaven.
Yeah.
So yeah, cats. Dog poked its head through like a random shed window to say hello.
Yeah.
And then when we were leaving 34, there was a goat.
Yeah.
There was frogs just riveting all day through that farmland. One crossed our path.
Killer bees.
Oh my God, the actual freaking murder hornets. Like, I kid you not, it was like that big, like 3 inches. Huge. Just, the sound that it made, I thought it was like a bird. I was like, no way.
You tried to get a picture of it, but
It was fast, and I was like, yeah.
And then crabs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the other goat with its
Right.
kid.
Right. Just wandering out towards the road.
Yeah, people are just like,
What the heck?
so yeah, just tons of wildlife today for no reason.
But the route itself was sort of unremarkable and, for the most part flat. We had a big tunnel as we made our way out to the shoreline. And
Well, and that was kind of self-prescribed because
we could have gone over the mountain.
there was the Henro helper and like the official guidebook say, go up and over. And we said, yeah, I'm not gonna just go through.
Yeah, and it was long, but it had a pedestrian and bike path, so it was safe. And just put your plugs in, get through it, and
Other than the biker scaring the ever-loving bejesus out of me about halfway through, it was not terrible.
Yeah.
One of the other things we wanted to just briefly touch on was some like accessibility items, because we're now 16 days in and we've noticed some things as far as barriers to entry, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just really comparing and contrasting a little bit with what we experienced on the Camino versus this. And there's just some subtle changes that could be made, some more difficult that would make things a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I would think about it, if the Japanese government is going to pour, a bunch of money into making this more of a tourism venture, having paths that are not all
asphalt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that coming into it, and we got shoes far different than we used on the Camino, and those shoes were the Hokas that have really thick soles.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are over 250 miles in, and dang, my feet hurt. Like, the heels, just from the pounding and pounding of the pavement, is hard.
By now I would have experienced all of the hot spots and whatever else, but they just keep popping up other places because it is just non-stop road.
Yeah. The other things that could improve would be the markers, right? They have some really great markers, don't get me wrong. They have these really nice signs that sort of give you a pilgrim looking person in red, an arrow direction, the number of kilometers to the next temple. Those are awesome, but obviously they have to be custom made for every location. And so often in the Camino, it's just simply a yellow arrow. And you could do the same thing here. It seems to be the pervasive red arrow here. That's great. I mean, it's not gonna take me long to figure that out if I'm walking it. So we are using navigation a lot more than we might have otherwise had to use if there was better markers.
Yeah, and I think that one, as far as accessibility, is relatively inexpensive if you just go with like a spray painted red arrow or just a sticker or something. But if you're trying to make this a tourism destination, like that is going to be pretty critical. Because we have an eSIM, we have the ability to use the maps, and that's great, but not everyone that comes here maybe will want to do that. Or maybe, they might just have Wi-Fi only, so then
that's not gonna work.
Right, it's gonna be a real challenge. So that would be hugely helpful. Another one, and this one is again semi self-prescribed, but the tunnels, some of them are mandatory, some of them are optional, and a lot of the optional ones we've taken, so maybe that's why it's more prevalent for me. But yeah, the tunnels, there's been a lot of freaking tunnels. The cars, and unless you have earphones that like block out the noise,
it's loud.
Yeah.
And the last thing I guess I would say is the logistics in terms of booking accommodations is difficult. I spend probably an hour a night trying to figure it out, because I'm trying to map distances, and then so often they require email, or you have to find somebody to call for you.
I was gonna say email's best case scenario.
Yeah, it's really challenging. Unlike like the Camino, you could do most of it on bookings, which was great. Here is all very cash based, and there's not really a good electronic medium in which to make reservations. And it's funny because while I get that they like cash based, and that's fine, but there's also, you hear a lot of complaints about Henro's canceling or not letting their hosts know. Well, if you had like a bookings to be a clearinghouse, then those Henros that didn't show up would still have to pay.
Yeah, because even I've seen cancellation policies being like, oh, like day of, you still have to pay. If it's cash based, and it goes back to a trust based society. Like if I cancel, I will go and pay the fee. But
you'd have to like walk to the place to go pay them, because they, and if you cancel because your plans changed or something, it probably means you might not be walking past that guest house. So it's really hard.
Yeah, totally. But again, like I said, it's that sort of like trust-based thing where it's like, oh, okay, I made this reservation, so I have to. Because that's happened to us once where somebody made a reservation for us, and unfortunately it was the wrong day. So we still offered to pay because
we didn't want to have that reputation. But thankfully they had sold out that particular day, and it was no big deal. But yeah, it's very challenging, and we've met hikers from many different countries on this journey. So it would be easier for everybody if there was some electronic medium. in which to book reservations.
Yeah, that, or even just like having it, right now we're using one site that someone at Temple 11 recommended to us.
Yeah.
It was the host at 11, and that website's been pretty good. It's kind of like a compilation of all of the, most of the places, not all of them, most of them, and it'll break down by which route you're going on and which, so it's pretty good.
Pretty good, and it will say like it does have online reservations, or you click through and you get an email address, but probably on 60% of them, it's you click through and you can find it on Google Maps, which is really helpful, and then it's here's your phone number, call them.
Yeah, so I mean, and I understand a lot of these are like mom and pop shops, so you just need a little bit of, I don't know, kindness of somebody building just a basic website for them, and just so they can,
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of the places on the Camino were pretty mom and poppy, and they were literally renting beds on the Camino with the help of, I know I keep using the words booking.com, but they were literally, that's the go-to.
Yeah, so just having something would make it easier. Day 17.
It was a bit unusual and fun.
We slept in.
It was 6:10, I think. No?
5:50, I was awake.
I just have this vision. You were so hot last night, you climbing up, trying to open the window, and you don't even know when I asked you about it this morning.
No, I know, but I was dying. It was so hot. I tried to turn the AC on. I'm pretty sure it didn't work. I wish I just had opened the window because it was hot all night.
Well, tell them why we slept in.
Oh, so there was two options. Well, there were several options, but essentially there was a ferry. Times it would leave are 7:10 or 10:05. We needed to hit Temple 36 before we got on the ferry, so that takes out the possibility of the 7 o'clock. Temples don't open until 8. We slept in, enjoyed some instant coffee and some slices of toast.
Yeah.
Actually, it was nice.
I liked the name of the hostel last night. John.
Hostel John.
Hostel John.
John Mang.
John Mang Hostel, and Mari was pretty cool, the host lady. And so then we enjoyed that toast and instant coffee. So we didn't have to immediately get breakfast. So we also then hopped on the bikes that they had lent to us.
Yeah, there's 3 bikes. We took 2 of them and made what would have been a 2-hour walk into an 18-minute bike ride.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of fun, and it was beautiful actually, because we rode through the little town and then up and over a bridge along the coast as the sun was sort of coming up. It was really nice actually, and the temple was sort of set back up on not too much up the hill, but just back in a valley. So
there's a good amount of stairs, and we did manage to get there right in time.
For bus pilgrims.
Yeah, and the bus pilgrims are great. They have a manager that takes all of their books right to the office and proceeds to have them stamp 30 of them, a couple of the robes, some scrolls, and so we just ended up waiting damn near 15 minutes for them to finish.
Yeah, it's funny because we got there just before 8, and the temple is usually open at 8 o'clock. So they're touring the temple. We thought, we'll tour, and then we'll, shortly or right about 8, we'll hit the stamp office. We saw the pilgrims coming, and it didn't dawn on us that the manager, like you said, would go to the Nokicho and get the stamp. So we were ahead of the pilgrims. We toured the facilities, did all of our rituals, came back down from the long staircase, and we're behind manager getting 30 stamps and scroll, things like that. So
yeah, absolute legend. Managed to get that 10:05 ferry, which saved us about 10 kilometers of walking.
Yep.
So today was a little bit of a lighter day, which was actually very needed. I, for one, started feeling some hot spots on my heel, and both my heels and also one of my toes. Definitely gonna have to do some things to sort of prevent moving forward, but yeah.
And I had gotten hot spots earlier and been taping them up. They've effectively went blisters and now are calluses at this point. So yeah, but at this range, we are starting to feel those. I think our muscles are finally toned enough and our body parts are toned enough that we're not feeling a lot of aches and pains. Still, certainly back gets sore, heels get sore, different body parts get sore, and we haven't had a rest day, but it was welcome change with only 11 walking miles today, 5 biking miles, and like you said, 10 or so kilometers on the ferry. So it was a great day actually. It was sunny. We We had to wear a hat, sunscreen, etc., but it wasn't terribly hot.
No, and there was a nice
nice.
breeze most of the day as well. So no, and it was nice using some different muscles on the bike. Versus
Yeah,
just,
I think both the bikes were too small for us, which, not too dissimilar from the shoes and robes most of the time. But yeah, definitely different muscle groups, but it was good. And the ferry ride was really pleasant. Man, it was really pretty going back through those that inlet. It's basically an inlet from the sea that brought us back to this town that we needed to get to. And we got really lucky, I think you said, because today's Saturday and they don't run on Sunday. So
and that was not something we planned, so this could have been a significantly longer day.
Yeah,
would have been about a 17 plus, if not for that ferry.
Yeah, right. The other fun fact today is, how many tunnels did we go through?
6.
6.
Grand total of probably over a kilometer.
Yeah.
Did it?
Oh, easy. Yeah, I would say.
There was a couple. There was a 4, a 3. I think there might have even been like a 100 one. No, that was pretty small.
Yeah.
But there was it was a lot of tunnels.
Yeah, and we ended up in sort of Temple 36 was by the sea. Then we it felt like we walked inland, but it's just the way the coastline goes. And so we ended up walking through all these tunnels, and we came out and we're once again from our accommodations tonight. We could see the sea, so we are once again by the sea, and we'll be, flirting with that as we make our way down to the Cape.
Yeah, we got told tonight that the sort of more scenic
Coastal
route is closed, unfortunately, due to a landslide, but we'll be taking the inland route. So unfortunate as far as probably not quite as pretty, but it'll still be good.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do enjoy this content, please leave us a like, leave us a comment, drop a subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. You take care now. Bye-bye.